Hey everyone, it's Deligracy here and welcome to a brand new speed build. Today we're going to, now nobody freak out, we're going to be using one custom content item and it is a ladder, which we're just selecting which custom content ladder to use, which one was looking the best. And I will link in the description, I will write in the description, the link to the ladder that we ended up using in this build in case you guys do want to download it. It is on the gallery under the username Deligracy. However, this is the only build I am using this ladder in. I'm not going to do another build with the custom content in there. I just wanted to see what it was like to build with a ladder in The Sims 4. I really hope that we do get ladders within The Sims 4 really soon because I think they are just so nice to have in game. And if you do download the custom content one, they are not animated, so they're not usable by The Sims. It's purely just added to the game if you want to make it a little bit more realistic in terms of architecture. And for a tiny home, ladders are very common because they don't take up a whole lot of room. Staircases really take up a lot of space unless you can have storage embedded within them. So yeah, I really wanted to build a tiny home with ladders. So this tiny home today is going to be an eco-sustainable living tiny home on a farm. And I decided to make it 2 bedrooms. So I'm curious to hear from you guys what you think makes a tiny home. Like, do you think it has to only be 1 bedroom? Do you think it can be 2 bedrooms? Do you think that the number of bedrooms are relative to a number of square meters in order to constitute a tiny home? I'm just curious to hear what you guys think, because in my opinion, I think this build is pretty tiny. Like, yes, it has 2 bedrooms, but all of the living area downstairs is pretty small. Like, it's pretty tiny. It does have a separate bathroom that's kind of attached on the end though, so maybe that breaks it from being a true tiny home. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. But this was built on a live stream last week, for those of you guys who don't know, and also for any of you newbies who have just arrived on the channel recently. I do have a live streaming channel over on Twitch, so if you want to watch the live streams, my channel name is Deligracy, and if you turn notifications on, you'll be notified when I'm live. And you can also watch live streams back. I'm kind of thinking that it could be a good idea to upload my live streams onto YouTube after I've done them, just so you guys could watch them back on YouTube. But I think if I did that, I would have a separate channel because I wouldn't want to affect what our uploads are like already. Like, I feel like if we start putting live streams on, it could be a little confusing. So let me know in the comments down below if that's something you would like, or if you prefer just having live streams over on Twitch that you can watch back. I'm very curious to hear. So yeah, this is pretty much the tiny home taking shape, and you guys can probably see by now it is taking a modern shape, a contemporary shape. And originally I wanted to do something a little bit more rustic, and it just kind of took the formation of a modern home. So next time, if we want to do more tiny homes, I was thinking of doing more of a cottage not necessarily like old fashioned, but more of a cottage traditional aesthetic. And I was even thinking we could do like a tiny home village, because apparently tiny home villages are a thing. I really want to go visit one and see what it's like, but I don't know if there's any in Australia. But I think the whole trend of tiny homes is a very globalized thing. Like, I think tiny homes exist in many different countries, and I think they're great. I mean, pricing for first home buyers in Australia is really high. So especially for Australians, my generation, who are hopefully looking to buy their first home in the next 10, 15, 20 years, it's so much harder for us to get a home compared to, say, our parents. So tiny homes are kind of a really cool invention and creative option compared to getting like a full-blown house, especially if people buy land together and then they live in separate tiny homes on the same piece of land. It's just such a cool and interesting living style or lifestyle. I just think it's really cool. And it's kind of cooler because sometimes they're on wheels. It's kind of cooler. Can I even speak English? It's also interesting that sometimes tiny homes are on wheels. They can be in tree houses. I've seen tree house tiny homes. I've seen like joined tiny homes, villages, like I said. They come in all different shapes and genres. It's pretty awesome. I just really want to stay in one. It'd be cool. By the way, let me know in the comments down below if you live in a tiny home. I haven't heard from any of you guys that live in a tiny home yet, but I bet you out of all of the viewers, there must be some of you who live in tiny homes. And would you guys mind if maybe one of you have a farm or a big backyard? Would you mind if maybe I just brought my little tiny home on wheels and just camped out in your backyard? Like I could build a tiny home and just wheel it to one of your houses and live there for a few weeks, and then I could like move on to the next subscriber's house. It'd be great, and I could do like a world tour of my subscribers' homes. Can you imagine? That would be epic content. And I could just, make you guys breakfast each day and be like, hi. Although I would need to have really good internet, which could be a little bit of an issue. So maybe not, but it's a cute idea. So yeah, here's the back end of the tiny home that has a little bit of a bathroom shape to it. And it was originally curved, or it had like a curved balcony area, but then chat actually said, can you please add a tiny pool in the tiny home? So I made this little plunge pool. And after I did that, I decided I would rather take away the rounded edges just because I wanted like that long, straight edged pool. Kind of looks a little bit like infinity pool-esque. So yeah, that's why I decided to get rid of the curves. And it was also reminding me a little bit of a houseboat, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a houseboat, but I just didn't feel like building one today. I wanted this to sit on our farm. We're going to build like a little orchard. We're going to have a few gardening areas. It looks nice. And we're also going to utilize some of the objects from the Sims 4 Laundry Day stuff. So we use the clothesline. We use also the washing basin thing that's meant to be outdoors. And then right now I was trying to pick what kind of fencing to use here. So I was like, can we use the green hedges? Definitely having a lot of greenery is something I wanted to do in this home to kind of get that eco-friendly vibe happening. And I've got to say, if and when I can afford to build my own home or renovate my own home, which I really hope one day I'll be able to do, even if money wasn't an issue in the future, which, oh my gosh, please can it not be? I would say that I would love to make my home as sustainable as possible. I think that's such a good thing to do for the planet if you do have the luxury of wealth and you can afford to pay extra to be more eco-friendly. I think everyone should. I don't see why you wouldn't. So hopefully one day I would love to do that. And I also wanted to have lots of green vines creeping up the walls to kind of give it that more lush feel. And right now we're just grabbing a few random items that we're going to place around the place to give it a more farm feel. So we're going to have like the wood fire, wood chopped up. Oops, I just hit my mic. Sorry about that if you heard that. Little wheelbarrow. And we did a ton of landscaping on this lot. We wanted to use the terrain tool just a little bit. So you will see a little bit of inconsistencies in the landscaping too. So it won't just be all flat. But then in saying that, it's not going to be like a mountainous. So it's just realistic, I suppose, with having a few dips and troughs and hilly bits. And then we lined this pathway with all of these downsized rocks, and that took a while. You'll see that at the end. So moving on to the interior, we were picking out some colors. You can see our ladders on either side are already placed there. They kind of have a bit of a rustic vibe going on them. And we've put in a tiny kitchen that is, I guess, kind of an open galley kitchen. So you've got the stools that you can eat at, a bench area. We were listening to Sims music and Spotify just then. And yeah, let's just say that fridge has a really, really good energy rating. It would have like 10-star energy rating. Putting in a stove, which I almost forgot. I always forget to put stoves in, and I was about to say I totally forgot a bin, but I'm glad I didn't. Remembered to pop that in. And the couch, I really love that little yellow couch. You also have the mason jars hanging over the bench area too, which is kind of fun. And I thought it would be nice to put in a fireplace. So we had a little bit of an issue with figuring out what kind of fireplace to put in there because the fireplaces were taking up a lot of room. And in the holiday pack, we actually got a new one for free, which is a faux fireplace. So what we're actually going to do is layer it on top of the glass fireplace. And unfortunately, we did change the couch over to one that, using the move objects on sheet, looks a little bit more convincing as an L-shaped couch. And I think it looks pretty cool. I think it worked out all right. And then we've got the TV on the wall there as well. Nice little plant in the corner. So there we go. We have pretty much a lounge room all put together. The rest of our house is finished, or at least the living area is finished. And then over here, we have our little study nook where there is a desk. Now, we probably didn't need to have this in a tiny home. I could have definitely gotten rid of that study nook and made it smaller. But I just thought if you wanted to have really smooth gameplay in here, if you are playing The Sims, you'd probably like to have access to a computer. So I did pop that in there. And then I was just figuring, can we fit in a little table over here? Like, is that gonna work? And I'm pretty sure in the end we decided it was a little bit too hard. I can't remember, did we? I was like, I really want a fruit bowl in here. Like, I want them to be able to sit on the couch and eat a bowl of fruit, you know? Or maybe I did leave it. To me, it looks a little weird. Like, I feel like I probably do move that in the end. But hey, maybe I was in the mood to just have a big bit of coffee table at the end of that couch. And then we needed to put up some curtains. So the curtains, the problem with them is that they take up a room visually as well. So I feel like the curtains can be a little bit too big in The Sims 4. Like in real life, curtains can roll up to be really small or kind of be tucked away really easily. But in The Sims 4, they're more like bigger curtains that stick out from the walls. So I actually don't want to use too many. The timber matches the timber sides, and there is a lot of wood going on, but I think it goes with the eco theme quite nicely. And right there, my sim is standing. We created him on the stream as well as his sister. And they were the two Sims who, he was going to live in this house with a child Sim and she was just visiting. So there's going to be an adult's bedroom, which would have been his bedroom. And then we're also going to have a kid's bedroom as well. Also, I have to say, I love that basic plant from the base game. It's just such a handy plant. And I love the terracotta pot. Like, I love terracotta pots. I think they're so nice and simple. And for the bathroom, I thought we'd add a little bit of pattern in there with the Jungle Adventure tiles. I love these tiles. I think they're so pretty, but I so wish we had matching floor tiles. And I know there's custom content for those floor tiles, which you can download, but I just haven't got them. I try to avoid using much custom content in builds because it just makes it a lot harder for you guys to be able to download it. And the other thing is I typically mostly just prefer Maxis objects. I don't know what it is. I just really like having just simple Maxis furnishings in my house just to keep it nice and clean and the aesthetic perfect. Because a lot of the time, custom content doesn't fully suit the aesthetic of the game. Like, even those ladders look a little off to me. Like, the texture of them looks a little alpha to me. Alpha meaning custom content that's leaning towards more realism than The Sims stylized aesthetic. So yeah. I also kind of thought it'd be nice to include this stone flooring in here. I was like, oh, it does kind of give that natural vibe, but I think we'll save that for another house. And then this is our outdoor area that we're going to be placing in. And the window is a little off frame. Sorry about that. That is a little bit of a mistake by me. But at least you can still see what we're doing here. We're making like a little florist arranging area with the florist arranging table, which that object came with The Sims 4 Seasons. And you know what? I haven't actually got around to doing too much floristry in the game. But I know a lot of you guys dived quite deep into it and began making really big money. So it is kind of a cool career to have. Maybe in our single mom LP that we're doing on Twitch, we'll kind of have a play with it. And also, if you guys are asking about Single Dad Let's Play, I'll try and get another episode out this coming week because I'm seeing a lot of you guys asking where that is. We have been focusing mostly on Get Famous since Get Famous came out and kind of stole the limelight from the Single Dad Let's Play because I was just so excited to try it all out. And yeah, we have our well, we have our bee box, we have our scarecrow, definitely getting some more farm vibes. And again, I needed to flatten out a little bit of the terrain to make sure that we could place a few other items on here. So more planter boxes, the orchard that we make is on the other side. And if you do want to download this build, you will need to plant the items in the plant boxes. So they are left clear. And I think you can actually, I assume on the gallery, people have saved lots with fully grown and like, what's the word? Evolved plants from the gallery from other builds, or download them from rooms so then you can place them straight in if you wanted to do that. I've never actually done that before, but I assume that exists. Kind of like all of the different paintings in the game exist. So you can get heaps of different paintings from rooms on the gallery. That's kind of cool. And then because there was going to be a children's room here, we decided to put some fun little like child activities. So we do have swings. I think we have monkey bars as well somewhere around the place. So it is like a nice kid-friendly house. And right now I was like, we need to put some dirt spots where, you know, when you're swinging on a swing, you might put your feet down and kick up all of the grass. I definitely feel like doing the terrain painting makes a build so much more realistic. And it's so easy to do. Like you just kind of paint around the place wherever an object meets the ground, just like do a little bit of dirt painting. And then it looks so good. I also wanted to have a little barbecue space and also a fire pit space. So we are about to do that. We're going to place some chairs around here, keeping it nice and simple. And I think, was that umbrella from Backyard Stuff Pack? I feel like it was, but I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. But I do like that table wasn't just 4 chairs, 6 chairs. And that barbecue, I think, is from the Toddler Stuff Pack, which is a good stuff pack to get your hands on if you're wanting some more toddler-friendly items. And yeah, nice little seating area, and we're going to pop a fire pit in there so you can be at your farm snuggling up in winter around the fire. Well, actually, would you want to be around an outdoor fire in winter? Probably not if it's snowing, but maybe in autumn. That would be kind of cool if you have seasons. I did put a sprinkler down as well somewhere, so there is a sprinkler around some of the plants, so then you don't have to water them with your sim. So yeah, it's all pretty much coming together now. I think it looks kind of cute. And I love that birdhouse. I rarely ever use the birdhouse item. And we even have some wind chimes as well, which I love hearing them in game. Like I love the in-game sound. And there's the bird feeder too. So yeah, I think all of those items were from like a Backyard Stuff Pack. So that's actually used that a lot, which is good. It's good. But yeah, it's a whole mix of packs in here. If you just have a few packs, which most of you guys will have like a base game and a couple of packs maybe, if that, you'll just have to replace the items you don't have with base game items. So sometimes you guys get a little bit confused with how that works. So if you download it, it'll just download it without the items you don't have, including the custom content if you don't have that. So yeah, pretty much coming together now. And just doing the last bit of landscaping. Typically when I landscape, I just like to put a whole heap of different kind of bushes together, rotate them, experiment with sizing them up and down with the open and close brackets. And yeah, just like mixing them all up. I try and make it look as natural as possible. Unless I'm doing like a really manicured garden that's meant to look like rose bushes in a straight line. Obviously, I won't do that, but I definitely recommend turning on the Move Objects On cheat if you want to have that more organic, lush, overgrown looking garden. And those flowers are from the Romantic Garden Stuff Pack the white ones that we placed just before. And also putting rocks around the place also helps a lot to make it a little bit more natural. And of course, terrain painting definitely helps. And now we're gonna jump up to the upper room. So we've done this room where our sim is already sleeping in the bed. So he's just got like basic bed, bedside table, all of that good stuff. And I wanted to put a plant on the shelf, or actually I think one of you guys in chat said, can you please put a plant on the shelf? So there we are, just using the 9 key to lift it up. And then we're gonna place it there with the move objects on sheet. And so it just looks a little bit more lived in, a little bit more stylish, I guess. And I love that side table. I think it has a bit of a Moroccan vibe. And I did not dress my sim like that. That was an automated outfit. Let me just make that really clear. So over here, we are going to have the little kids area. I decided to make it just gender neutral. I love these beds with the wrought iron. Is it wrought iron? Yeah, like the metal bed frame. I don't know why I love those kinds of beds for kids, because typically I love really modern things. But I don't know, I think it's so cute with the quilted Duna cover. And yeah, we're just gonna pop a few things in. I also wanted to include a bookshelf for the kids to read, and I think we fit one of those in at the end of the bed. But it's pretty simple. They're just gonna have bed, bedside table, rug, bookshelf, and also a little toy box that's also from the toddler stuff pack. So yeah, it's all good. That's pretty much what we did. Yeah, so in just a moment, we'll be jumping into the screenshots. So do let me know what you think of this build, and do give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. And just as a reminder, if you are already subscribed, to make sure you have the notification bell on. I'm going to have to start reminding you guys more about that, because I know a lot of you haven't been getting notified when I upload. So if you don't want to miss a video, that notification bell is a good thing to have on. So yeah, here are the screenshots. Here's our like farm area. We've got some of the cool lights from the toddler stuff pack that you guys in chat reminded me to pop in. Lots of greenery. There's lots of shade for hot summer days. Lots of outdoor activities for your Sims to have fun doing. And I don't think they're going to be bored in this house. They may have a tiny home, but they have a lot of things to do. And this orchard, I just put normal trees in there, but by all means, if you want to do the gardening work, you can like have an actual working apple orchard out there if you would like to do so. So yeah, shall we venture into the house or take a dip in our mini pool? I think we should go into the household. So that's the front door. I mean, there's not a whole lot to show because this house is quite tiny. But yeah, there's the kitchen, mirrored splashback. Again, opens up the space a little bit. We've got our custom content ladders, which I will link in the description down below so you guys can check those out. But yeah, I really, really hope we get Maxis ladders in the game soon, because I just know that even though I'll use these ladders just to experiment with one build, I know I'm not going to use them again because I just have to have Maxis things. But some of you guys might enjoy using them. There's our little bathroom and our first master bedroom that the ladder goes up to. Quite cute. I do like those pillows. Those pillows are kind of fun. And the children's little area up there too. Could be swapped to a toddler bed if they were a bit younger, obviously that would fit in. And maybe as a teen you could maybe fit in a double bed if you moved the ladder across a little bit. That could probably work. A few more outdoorsy pictures for you guys, and I'll also insert the floor plan as well if you guys want to have a go at building it on console. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what video you would like to see next. And as always, I hope you are all having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world. I cannot wait to speak to you all soon. So.